All right, so we are starting final session of this weekend. I'm talking about hardener, basically, to create a different pattern of hammer felt spring. Probably we start reviewing what hammer is doing in the piano, and then going into what is voicing and where hardener needs to be applied. So first, the hammer hits string, obviously, and can you see something? Probably, yeah. As Michael mentioned yesterday, the hammer is sort of a spring. The object of the spring and maybe core hardened area. And like for example, just simply hammer has like the crown area first, and then very tight spring around the core of the striking area, and then have at the basement, which is the hammer wood. So this is basically the model of unvoiced hammer, or very raw hammer, just made out of a factory and then put in the piano. So imagine this bang to the string, and then what happens? So just bang and return, that's all. So that sounds like a rock hits something, just bang, nothing later. So that not sound of like piano. So that's where we need to get a voice. Thank you. Thanks. So we normally voice in the felt, maybe say shoulder area. So that kneeling makes this very hard felt structure. We just breaking that structure into a little bit loosened, but still felt joining each other. So that works as if like spring. Even if the felt spring crushed, it's returned after. So that goes like crown and a slightly spring and hammer wood. So this goes into the strike into the string. So this has a bit of spring. That's when it goes like this model. What happens is just this hammer goes into string. Then when touching string, the spring, the basement presses onto the string with shortening the spring. So it's going up a little bit with spring crushing. Then finally string pushes back the hammer, as well as spring is opening to the bottom, and then gravity pulls the whole hammer thing. So the time while a hammer touches the string this has a very short. Because no cushion, no spring here, and just bang and return. So very short time. And then if a hammer has a spring like this, it's a bit more time. And that erases too much higher partials. Then get more fundamental frequency series, and then less high partials. So that gives a mellower or softer sound. Not just a frequency pattern, but we can talk about maybe later. So our hammer needs some sort of spring within the system. And And hammer is not just this here. So for example, we can think about hammer as more like very tight spring here, and a hammer wood here, and very tight spring around this here. Yeah, so actual hammer is like this model, for the crown attacking area with basement of hammer wood, then connecting many layers of through many layers of hammer felt. Yeah. So imagine, I remember when I was working in Yamaha factory, local like G-type, C-type people are doing voicing with 5mm needle and then making sound. Yeah, that gives, like for example, loosen up or making good spring outer layer, but still keeping very hard, or not keeping, just leaving very hard spring here. So that gives like a very nice tone in mid piano, but once starting more than mid forte, which is just banging, and then at the pianissimo or piano, this outer side gives good cushion. So that gives big good tone. But more, if you apply this hammer to more power, this striking power is more. And then in that case, this shocking wave when crown smashes the string, this goes good way and this good way. The shocking wave doesn't go into these springs. So this is okay, this is good cushion, but these are not, because the hammer felt is too tight and cushion bang, the shocking wave doesn't go through to the spring. So just a bound at this point and then return. So this, for example, 5 springs is not working properly. 2 works okay. That's why pianissimo sounds beautiful. But fortissimo, forte, 5 string needs to be working together, but not now. So Yamaha typical sound is bang, banging, just bang, that's all, and no resonance after all. So yeah, anyway, so this is more this model of actual hammer felt spring. Yeah. And maybe if we going into more, yeah, if we are making good cushion, outer layer, inner layer as well. Yes, so what about the crown area? So the crown, some people, some manufacturer are talking about just leave as it is because very important and so on. So on. But imagine if the core is too hard, like a rock. Even if we voice shoulder and under shoulder nicely, just bang, gang, it's an attacking noise, very huge. And then even after tone is very nice, but just bang, 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 it's not present, unpleasant tone. So, and if this core is too soft, is nothing happening, even cushion is very nice, but it's nothing happening, pum, 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 very wooden sound, and then not lovely piano tone. So, and of course, hammer is vary between hammer sets and models and manufacturers. So we need to adjust the hammer felt spring within the core too. So yeah, from the shoulder area, as well as we need to think about this inner. it should be more complicating in this here. But yeah, of course, that's just we can like think about like spring. So imagine the so where. So where are we going? Yeah. So basically, loosening this felt spring is by needle, and as we do normally. And if the spring was too loose or too weak, we apply hardener. And of course, hardener doesn't make spring strong. Just harden up this loosened spring, and then make it as if tighter. So that using hardener is not is one of techniques we can apply to the piano hammer, but it's not healthy from hammer from a view of felt, especially good cold pressed nice hammers. It's okay to use this if this doesn't sound, or attack sound is too dull or grounding tone was too less. Yeah, but anyway.
Do you want to discuss some of the different types of hardening that have been used later on?
Like probably we concentrate on B70 today. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so for example, using a hardener, so playing and just less attack, it's nothing happening. This even sounds not too bad, but it can't get forte or like especially biting fortissimo from the piano. In that case, for example, we apply a hardener here. For example, just we need attack harder place at the front, at the beginning of tone, and then that gives a little bit bang sound. And possibly, and depends on the tone, this may help, but also we may have to apply it more deeply to make whole core area hardened if the piano needs to. Yeah, and also, this is one of main pattern maybe we are using for hardener. Yeah. And another one is the bottom here. Yeah, as I wrote like this, so you may see naturally at the basement is blocked and then it is strong enough. But sometimes, of course, yes, it's really just write normal hammer and rivet is here. So in this hammer, crown area is here, and then smashing into string, and then felt spring works like this. But some hammer has a really soft bottom area, this area. Yeah, if you needle around the rivet, sometimes you feel nothing, just into nothing. So that in that case, the shock wave goes into directly the hammer. That is fine, and outer layer goes in here. But if the felt spring is too soft at the bottom here, this shock wave go somewhere, disappearing, because no reflection. Yeah, bottom supporting things under here. Yeah, this model, as if you can have this basement. So this is maybe not. Yeah, the actual real hammer has like this shape, and if the felt is too loose around here, let's go disappearing. So shock wave comes up here to rebound the hammer and goes here, and maybe some return, the outer layer some disappear. So returning force from the hammer felt spring is much less. Yeah, and yeah, so applying the hardener to this area to make a good body to or support of this felt spring. So once applying this hardener, outer layer spring is starting working, and then the tone changed dramatically. Just apply and just bang, and no grounding tone, something ringing, but not a body is coming out from the piano. So because of lack of basement in this case. So apply hardener to this here is sometimes works for that kind of piano. But and you need to be careful, of course. Yeah, if because for example, the balance between bass and tenor and treble, and quite often tenor has a really big sound than treble. Even the hammer doesn't have good basement here. Yeah, and if you apply same this rivet bottom application to the tenor and treble, anyway, you can get nice deep big tenor, and you can get a better treble. But balance between tenor and treble is going like that. So tenor is too good, and treble is relatively bad. So my normal application, for example, it's maybe we can show you later, but a bit more at the single bass, monotone, monochord area, and then a little bit bottom at the bichord to get basement of big bass, and then just a small amount and from tenor to lower treble, just listening something, and then a bit more applying. Yeah, because but of course the treble hammer has getting smaller, so you can't apply too much. Yeah, if you go too much here, this hardener is climbing up to the top, and then that gives this hammer felt spring dead, just hardened. It just can. Yeah, yeah, and of course the percentage of the hardener is important. Of course, making and applying this top striking area is probably better trying a thinner application to and then listen what kind of brightness we can get. Yeah, and I will show you very soon. Yeah. So this is a structure, and yeah, so this is kind of how we need to imagine the inside of hammer felt spring. Yeah. And another point is how to listen the sound. Yeah, when I was working in Yamaha concert factory, I was taught often listen the shape of the tone, like at the starting, just pump the starting, and then how attacking noise is coming from, and then how develop after the attack noise is growing, and then after that initial growing, still tone is opening, and then the ringing after that are going into releasing or decreasing volume. And so looking at in your head the how shape that tone that have the bang open, more open, and then going longer beautifully and releasing or erasing nicely. Yeah. And also listening core of a tone. Yeah, if you tune nicely with tuning at same not frequency, sequence of 3 strings. You can tune nuance, or you get a nice vowel within the piano tone. Like, for example, this attack noise and this opening area is sort of consonant of piano tone. And following this warm, nice, colorful tone is vowel of the piano tone. Yeah. And then ringing after, yeah, of course. Yeah. So then the sustain, for example, people are talking about sometimes a sustain the length of whole the tone. But some people talking about sustain, and maybe musician is talking about sustain is this how rich that tone has the core, a vowel here, and then how long that's ringing. That's where people are talking about probably. So just imagine how piano tone the shapes, and quite often we see, well, we hear bang, bang, like this tone, like that rock hard hammer. It just too noisy attack, and then just exploding initial extension, and then nothing inside here. So no vowel is inside, and just too much attack at the beginning. So so if you listen or imagine the piano tone like this, you can find that this tone needs this thing. For example, this needs less attack and need more core, of course. So typically, it was because of too tight hammer-filter spring and too hard core, crown. And at this moment, whatever this bottom here, because this tone doesn't contain anyway any structure or spring. So first, normally we do the fundamental voicing from maybe somewhere here to here. In my case, using a needle about like 70% to 9% of the thickness, actual thickness of the felt. It's going into like this, nearly the 90 degrees to from the side, and then up to like here, for example. So this makes felt spring, outer felt, and as well as inner felt springs. And you feel tightness, and if you feel really tight, it doesn't have springy effect at all. But if you feel nothing, of course, the spring is gone already. So careful, just you need to memorize by yourself, or experience yourself how much you feel. So that's good. I have a very good sense of that now after 35 years from the beginning, I was told. So like the customer who loves mellower side of tone, like pre-voicing this much, this probably this is enough first, and then going into the piano, and then do more if required. So some people say do not voice anything, voicing anything before gluing hammer or something. But I do before, because I know my arm knows what kind of tightness this hammer needs, and this area. So tenor section, for example, much not tight, slow, soft. Much softer spring the tenor, low tenor needs. And bass needs some cushion, but if too soft, when goes fortational, the sound stops instantly, because just collapsing inside of the spring, because the hammer is very heavy and the string is very heavy. So the bass needs more hard spring, in my opinion. And then treble of course, a naturally thin felt and stronger hammer felt string needs to create a better, brighter sound compared with tenor section. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So, for example, you're creating from this tone, making shoulder area softer, and then making a good cushion. It goes probably this way. Yeah. But if, for example, yeah, and it goes better, but the attack sound is not open enough or good enough. Something you need to do. So we are talking about this attacking noise. So we need to listen whether that not good point is the actual attack timing or just after of that attack or the after of that attack. Yes, you need to find out by your ears from to that. Yeah, and without thinking these things, of course you can't do that. Like you may do, like factory people, it's not musical at all. They don't listen like this system or model. Anyway, so if initial attack is too hard, too harsh, we do sugar coating voicing. Yeah, with like 2 millimeter needle or 2 needles, 3 needles together, just yes, like sugar coating on the cake, just so this area, yeah, needling around striking area. And sometimes that fixes everything, but this only gives you softer or less harsh attack noise at the beginning here. So if you feel after this sugar coating, it's getting softer, but it's not going more springy after. So that is probably this core, a structure of hammer spring in the core area, especially this not 2 millimeter depth area, but inside of here. So if inside of this area is too hard, initial attack is even softer. The hammer spring core area doesn't work because that shock wave stops here. So that's why we hear just bang or something. It's really a bit more naturally we want to develop the sound. Yeah. So for example, in that case, we may soften this area, for example. Yeah. And in this case, we need to think about different angle as well, like the hammer hit 3 strings like this. Yeah. So shock wave goes into like this outer layer, inner layer, and core, as well as sideways. So this goes, the shock wave goes here and here and here and here. So we do a soft voicing, like sugar coating, like 2 millimeter needle between a string cut. Yeah, so like I normally do 2 rows. I imagine 2 rows here between strings. And in this case, shank this side. So for example, I normally soft voice in soft area, and this one moves this way. I do like 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, right, 2. like a 2 millimeter depth, and just dig. Yeah, because the hammer action moves this way. Actually, this here is not related to the soft pedal position at all. But imagine this string, for example, shock wave goes both sides, and left side 3 needled, right side 2 needled, and then center string, left side 3 needle to the right side 2 needle, and right side has same. So with this soft needling, all 3 strings has less brightness by softening this sideways movement, gets normal position gets better. And quite often, if you don't do this, because just nothing happening, this way, this side.
It's coming this.
Coming this way. So this area doesn't get strike. Yeah. Anyway, so shift pedal with the shift pedal. So when I put shift pedal, somehow a bit noisy and not metric still something. Yeah, that's because of the one side hasn't been got that soft voicing, and yeah, so shock wave goes still into that and then just get returned hardly. So that gives noisier or unbalanced striking motion of the hammer. I'm not sure what I can say, but anyway, that's a part. Yeah, but that's only deal with like here, maybe same as this sugar coating. So it's not much to this here.
Yuji, is the sugar coating?
Yes.
Is that not included in that bit on the side? You know, is the sugar coating right over the top through? Over
Yeah,
the whole?
basically, yeah, the fold, yeah, same.
But
yes.
then what's the bit on the right for?
Right.
That's looking down on the top of the
Top of
hammer.
that.
But if you're sugar coating, are you not doing that area? You mean?
Still you need to do.
Strike points. Yeah.
Still, you need to do the soft voicing in case that random needle.
So same depth of needle.
Similar. So yeah, I normally do this first, and then if you need sugar coating, where I need like only right side or only left side or something. Oops. Just so. Anyway. But as I said, this soft voicing and sugar coating doesn't deal with this a little bit inner here. So this I use the angel shot. It's very funny name, and I think about 10 years ago, the journal, someone in the United States showed using needle like this angle, and the kid gets a better result or something. So that goes here, in this case, maybe shank this way. Yeah. So that angel shot, I think, angel shot, because that shot helps quite a lot. That's because of angel helps you or something. But anyway, from the top of a hammer, or maybe just behind, or just 1 millimeter away from the striking point, going that direction. Yeah, so that gives soften a little bit more here, but keeping this just bottom below here. So that keeps a good brightness, but less harshness. Yeah, so that works actually quite well, and I have done quite a lot, using quite a lot. Yeah, and sometimes so far if you feel good attacking noise, but still harsh somehow, just going into angel shot between.
You can't reverse.
Yeah, between string cuts, including both ends. that gives less or less cushion or less hardness, too hard beside of string cuts area. So that gives keeping the good hard area just under the string cuts normal position, but less going outside. So that gives better result. Yeah, but if you had very hard or too bright still, even you applied sugar coating here, and then so you go this angel shot to the string cuts. Yeah, normally I do from like 1 millimeter or 2 millimeter or the edge of string cuts in backside goes like this, like this, like this. For example, I made like 4-5 millimeter needle between ones, and then using maybe 3 millimeter on string cut ones. Yeah, I just need to change the length of the needle. And of course, if you apply this to treble, maybe 2 millimeter and 3 millimeter or something. Yeah. So this is a softening, so not hardener's topic, but yeah, part of voicing what I'm doing and every day. Yeah. So we made them try. The part of these things are from David Jenkins. So he's not my invention.
If it doesn't work, blame someone.
It didn't work because David told me. Yeah. So any question about my idea about
So this is so you're talking about new hammers?
No.
Generally.
Yeah. Whatever the hammers need to think about what kind of hammer spring structure this hammer has. That's why this sound is coming. And then customer wants to this way, so I do this and that. That's where I'm So quite often, like 10 years, Yamaha Kawai, piano teacher plays every day, 7 hours, really long string cuts, but not time so much. Just I do like angel shots, all hammers necessary area.
Right.
Yeah, and then just gets softer, much softer.
Right.
And then I hammer all things, just a big like hammer with very big string cuts, just hammering with normal hammer.
Right.
Not string hammer, it's normal hammer knife like nail. Just bang, 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 bang from top, and then just slightly here and slightly here. And then, because the hard area, because of compressed, this gets really hard around here. So hammering, hammering, and then just this hardened area goes just moving around.
Right. So you wouldn't try and whack it, just whack a shape on it. Just like try and quick.
Shaping.
Just a quick shape.
But shaping.
Because I think does the hardness not come, the softness comes from that, the string cuts obviously going into completely dead felt. Do you know what I mean? So
But anyway, that's like needling and hammering like takes 30 minutes between tenor and treble, for example, and shaping maybe take more 10 minutes and 15 minutes. If you had, that's fine.
But an idea.
I think just can I just add though? I think the point is that because people take this information, right, and then they think that becomes the answer as opposed to hammer shaping. So if we say you're actually supposed to hammer shape it, you know what I'm saying? Is that this is the information that people are getting, but actually the hammer shape is the correct thing.
Yes.
However, when you've got 30 minutes. This is
or 20 minutes.
That's what we do. I think that we need to put those things on. So because otherwise they go, well, I've got a trick, I'll hammer the hammer. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just a little bit, that's just my...
Unfortunately, we can't control everyone does have. in future.
You could have
Like myself.
It's just qualifying the information is what I mean.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
correct. I'm not,
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
I
yeah.
understand.
Yeah. So, I'm going to take it, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's it.
I was going to comment in a lot of, I agree with everything you said, but in a lot of cases I think we go to piano and as you said you need to listen to it carefully, and what I think what you need to try and do is identify what voicing is already there, and that might be by your needles, how hard do you feel, as I said. In a lot of cases some voicing has been done, but somehow the whole hammer is not working. One part of the voicing is not connected to another. And that can be a really important thing to do, so you don't always have to do hundreds of stabs. You know what I mean? You need to very carefully think about why is this piano, exactly as you said, got this huge bottom end and a huge attack, but sort of nothing in the middle, or some other combination. So I think you need to think and listen very carefully. And in a lot of cases, it's a question of doing some voicing that will make, as you described it, all 5 strings work. Instead of just 1 or 2 or none.
Probably, but everyone needs to think about need to get the image of how hammer felt spring works and how that works as piano tone. So piano tone basically how to find out, like imagine like I was told in Yamaha factory, everyone may have to try or get training by yourself. And then connecting between tonal difference or expectation and a method, what we are talking about here.
I would like to actually just comment on something else that Michael mentioned yesterday morning as well, which is about voicing, and it's the whole piano, right to the note 88, all these things. The whole piano needs to be working. Note 88 as well as note 1.
Basically. But sometimes we need to think about only 60 notes here or 50 notes here and so on. But just this is just the hammer fells is like this, and apply this technique here and when these kind of things happen. But that things you need to find out by yourself. And then I can going into now B72. So this is the I'm not sure everyone gets maybe. Maybe initial. I will probably upload this PDF file to maybe Guild website Guild website. We've got a member page. Do we? Maybe no. Maybe no. Probably if you could share, if you have. Basic information is coming from internet somewhere. American guys describes how to use E72 efficiently and blah blah blah. But just modified very simply. So from the top, solvents. P72, by the way, is like this crystal, like this stuff, like this. Pellets or something, I'm not sure. They can introduce to the world piano world maybe 10 years ago or something. Anyway, so this is the stuff.
Used in art conservation.
Basically, conservation people are using for conserve many things, all the stuff to keep the same shape and the rubber. Anyway, so this is B72, and the jump to the bottom, you can get this one from here, like 500 grams $29.44. This one I brought from Japan. My friend bought a big amount of pounds, so I just get from there. Yeah, so ideally, probably someone already has. How much do you have grams?
I've got a small amount.
A small amount. Oh, okay.
I've only got a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, probably 500 grams is too much. So ideally, someone
A little bit goes a long way.
Mm.
If you had a small bag of it, it would probably last you some years. But
Yeah.
it goes quite a long way.
Long way. Yeah. So ideally, someone bought this and then sell to the others, for example, or it is possible guild to buy this and then sell to the member. We haven't done that way before.
Could do.
Yeah. Anyway, you'd like to try, but you don't want to get 500 grams at once. But anyway, so a bit more description is under here. I copied from a website of this conservation supplies. Yeah, so this is the character of this B72 stuff. Yeah, so return to the solvents. We use acetone as well as ethanol. Methanol. Yeah, methanol. Yeah, this one I bought from Mitatin. It says 95% acetone, methanol. So I use this and it's probably good enough. Yeah. And
They actually have a different.
type.
They work differently to each other.
Yeah.
So they're both.
Both.
You
Yeah.
need both.
Yeah, we need both. Yeah, going to later. Yeah, so acetone evaporates more quickly and pulls resin closer to the surface, faster results. So using a bit later. Yeah, the ethanol evaporates relatively slower than acetone. So acetone meth brings B72 into deeper side more than acetone. And then using 50-50 mixturing between these two may work or may have both characteristics. And to mix the examples mixturing, first heavy solution, thick solution, 10 grams of B72 into 100 milliliter of acetone or ethanol. Yeah, this is very thick, so using as described, build up the low shoulders and staple area where needs basement, as I talked about. And second, medium solution, 10 grams B72 into 200 milliliters. Yeah, and then this is quite general thickness, yeah, but not recommend to the top striking area initially. Third one is light or thin solution, much thinner than number 1 and number 2. Yeah, this is for striking area. Yeah, and some other stuff. So, and other possible variations is the 10 grams to 200 milliliters or 10 grams, 400 milliliters of acetone and so on. Yeah, you can try by yourself, by your own risk, obviously, yeah, to make things. Yeah, so for example, I'm actually making now about 10 grams B72 into 400 milliliters of acetone. Yeah, but of course, you don't have to making 400 milliliter of big pound. So for example, I recommend using grass gel because acetone is very strong, and if you use plastic container, the container may melt and disappear. Yeah. So for example, with digital scale. And oh, where did I find it? So this jar I measured 200 milliliters in the full, So I'm making 100 milliliters stuff using acetone. So 10 gram to 400 milliliters. So 100 milliliters I use 2.5 grams of E72. So it's now digital gauge with tray at 0. So I put 2.5 grams. Yep, 2.3, 2.4, 2.31, or 2.6. So probably take 1, 2. Yep. So this amount, 2.4 grams of B72. So I put this into this jar. And then put acetone. Yeah, so I put pour this acetone into half of this jar. A bit more than half, but anyway, that's. Yeah, and then with acetone, the B72 to melt, dissolve relatively soon.
It takes a wee while.
Yeah, it will take a while.
It takes a bit longer with middle-aged spirits.
Yeah, if you use mess, taking longer than acetone even. Anyway, so I just bring around thick solution, medium, and thin 3, and this one, or with a little bit acetone together in my car, then using when you need it. And so we start for an actual application. David, would you like to try SK2 maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
I should say that Vahe from Sydney, who was setting this up, he felt that all these bicords here were too dull.
Yeah.
So he was using about 10 to 200 mixture in an eyedropper.